voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Their ongoing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life forms and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
And welcome to the season premiere of Physical Media Format, ladies and gentlemen. This is season 3. I didn't think ever that I would make a season 3, and because all good things must come to an end, just like the title of the final episode of TNG, I announced a few months back that season 3 of Physical Media Format will be the final season. You know, get off the boat while the getting's good. It's what I say, folks, and I don't know if anybody's ever heard that saying. Probably not. But anyway, folks, we're going to start it off with a banger, a two-parter, with the original Star Trek, the original 6 films, and, of course, then we'll be also talking about the TNG films on VHS. All right, folks, don't forget, hit that like button if you're a fan of this show, or you're got friends who are fans of VHS, and I'll give you all the knowledge I possibly can, folks, and you share it all over the nation, or wherever, or whatever, or however format of social media you can do. But we're going to go ahead and get into it right now. All right, as you can see, last season, or not last season, but the first season, I ended it with the anniversary, one of the anniversary box sets. It was probably about a year after the 25th anniversary box set. And then a couple months later, I just started falling into all these Star Trek videos I was finding left and right. And my goal was to just get the original releases. And to, either I was going to review them or display them or whatever with my Star Trek Enterprise models. But it took me a while. Star Trek 5 was the hardest one to find. Star Trek 6 you can find anywhere. You can find it in my kid's bedroom, if that's how easy it is to find. But again, got them all, and I'm ready to start off this season with the original releases. We're going to start with, of course, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, the special longer version, 12 minutes of new footage that was added to this. It basically was the television version when it debuted on television. Now, I don't know if there's a VHS out there or a beta that has the original theatrical release, but there also has been a special edition that came out in 2001, and now there's a 4K version with the director's edition added to it, and that's going to be appearing I want to say it's on Paramount Plus now, then it'll be on Physical Media later this year. But, of course, back in the early 80s when it came to Paramount, they'd have those beautiful posters, and, of course, then they would put the credits down on the bottom. There's the font to the motion picture. And in the back, we'll cover him, and we won't even talk about him. But, there's, of course, legendary actor Mark Lenard as a Klingon. Or I think that's him up there. But, of course, the rest of the cast, the legendary cast of Star Trek that returned 10 years after the cancellation of the original series. Now, that all familiar, if those are my generation, of that purplish type of gray sticker that the Paramount videos were famously to have. That was their trademark. But I will say, when it comes to a classic Paramount video, this is a much later one. I want to say this was like an 88, 86, 88 release. But the original releases will have this Paramount Home Video logo on the side of it. And then, of course, anything later will have that. And then we'll go through the rest. But, of course, the legendary Star Trek, the motion picture, came out. And then A lot of people were kind of bummed by it, but Harve Bennett came in and produced Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, which was a sequel to the legendary episode Space Seed that introduced Khan. And, of course, you can see this got some wear and tear. A little sun bleached. Of course, there's late, great Ricardo Montalban. A lot of those explosions on the bridge. This movie had a lot of action for a Star Trek film of its time. And of course, Mr. Spock. This is about as good as you get when it comes to sequels and, movies all together. See that font logo. The font's done a little bit different. But, again, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. One of my favorite films. It's in my top 5. Hopefully I'm going to get a chance on the Movie Dog Show to sit back and talk to a few people about it. But anyway, it was this film, one of my favorite memories, going to see it with my mom and my dad. My dad wasn't much of a Trekker. My mom was. Star Trek: The Search for Spock. I had the drinking glasses from Taco Bell. I even had the little die-cast models from of the Bird of Prey. But I love this movie. It's a really fun movie. It had one of my favorite sequences, when they were stealing the Enterprise in the movie. That was just so much fun, and the music. And I love this poster from Bob Peak. Bob Peak was an amazing artist, and he did a lot of the artwork for the Star Trek films. But of course, this one's had a lot of wear and tear. The stickers kind of melted a little bit, which is very common for VHSs. And this is also very common, that Battleship gray, or I don't know what kind of color gray this is. A lot of the VHSs, especially Paramount, would come with these. And where's the sticker? Got a little spotting on it. That's not mold. That's just how it goes. Of course, the package is in very good condition for the VHS to be looking like that. But of course, by then, the credits and everything were being put on the back just to show off more of the artwork. Of course, here on the top. Now, Star Trek IV, another one of my favorites, in my top 10 of favorite films. One of my favorite times going to the theaters. One of the last times in the theater that was in my hometown. One of the last movies I remember seeing in that one before it closed down. And for a number of years, we didn't have a movie theater. But Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Of course, the previous film, Star Trek III, was directed by Leonard Nimoy, his directorial debut. And then he came back, did Star Trek IV. Oscar-nominated film. Wonderful film. Just very fun and wonderfully acted. As you can see, this is during Paramount's 75th anniversary. And then this time around, the white sides are been taken out. And, some of it's just been, one single shot for the back. But, again, purple casing is not bad. I'm not too crazy about the poster. I love the original Bob Peak poster. Those who get a chance to... That was just absolutely the best out of all the Star Trek posters, was a poster for Star Trek IV. So, and look it up, folks. I mean, it was the one... I had all the Star Trek posters, but I never could have obtained that Bob Peak one. It was just so rare and so expensive. But, again, the 75th logo on there. But it's really, I had this VHS for the longest time back in the 80s, and I watched it constantly. It was just for a while, that and Star Trek 2. That's all the Star Trek movies I've watched. All right. Now, Star Trek V came off, I would say without a hitch. I mean, it was guaranteed there was going to be another Star Trek after 4. 4 was such a massive hit and so popular. But Star Trek V had a lot of problems. The writer's strike back in '89, they had to rush to hurry and get this movie done. And, not many people, Bob Harve Bennett, was kind of weary, and he'd done his trilogy of films, and he was ready to move on. But, William Shatner, it was his turn because he was contractually obligated to appear in Star Trek IV in order to direct this movie. Now, if you go and look at the special features of Star Trek V on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, you'll hear the story that, there was a lot of stuff that, really got under in the way of the true vision of Star Trek V. And I do think that William Shatner should be given a chance to do his director's cut. And I firmly believe that's fair enough. The guy, is 80-something years old. He should be able to at least have one last go at it and give us the vision that he wanted. Okay, but the poster's not too bad. Another Bob Peak poster. I've had this poster too, and you can see the Enterprise and then Sybok, Spock's half-brother. That was canon. Not the crying baby that was half adopted sister. That's all I'm going to say about Discovery. Anyway, Kirk and Spock. I still think that they should have kept more of the cast members on there. The poster kind of wraps itself around the side. Of course, that font, the Star Trek V font. I always thought that would look pretty cool. There's the top. Came out in 89. And of course, they're just a one single picture that they were doing there for a while for a lot of Paramount movies. But by then, a lot of the, if I can take this out, as you can see, it not factory sealed, folks, so don't worry, I'm not breaking a rule. But you can see by then, Paramount had changed their stickers on the packaging. Got rid of the gray, purple, and substituted it with a white, red font. So, a little green, and the Paramount logo in blue. So, but, like I said, I still think Shatner should get his chance. Now, Star Trek 60 on Discovery Country. They get back to basics, and went out on a high note. I went to see this on night one. This is a special home video version. There's three versions of this film. There's a DVD version of the special edition version. That was a 2-disc version. There's this version, of course, the theatrical version. Honestly, never once noticed any of it. But now that I'm a little older, I can see some of the differences when it comes to the newer, more final cut, which is on DVD. But, of course, again, Bob Peak at his best. Absolutely awesome poster. I had that poster for the longest time. This is the only way, this cover is the only way you could have gotten Star Trek 6. They didn't have it any other way. It was added like this so it would go along with what they were doing with the other Star Trek movies, as you saw in my previous video when it came to the collection, like a puzzle to, make the Enterprise when it comes to the sides of each cover of the movies. But this was about it. Sadly, that's it. I would have loved to have the other ways and everything, because then it would make the collection a little more complete looking or continuity-wise, but yeah, it doesn't matter. But again, by then, Paramount's still doing that. A couple years into doing that. They, I think, did this up till like at least the late 90s. By early 2000s, they did something a little different. But anyway, and of course, they started doing a little bit more pictures on the back. Now, all of them will always say, even on the back of the Blu-ray, they would have it as Admiral Kirk. But this one doesn't have that. It was fixed to say Captain Kirk. But all the other releases and everything, first releases, and then actually on the DVDs too, would say Admiral Kirk. By this time, William Shatner's Captain Kirk was Captain Kirk. He was no longer Admiral Kirk. But again, wonderful piece of artwork and really cool. All right, folks. Well, that's this episode of Physical Media Format. I hope I gave you as much information as possible. Again, this is the final season, and it's going to be a lengthy one. The show will probably end sometime at the beginning of next year. And I will also have some Facebook and exclusive videos on there when it comes to this show. Again, folks, I appreciate you guys tuning in. This show was one of the reasons why my channel started really getting up there in views and numbers, and I really appreciate it. But I feel like it's time to go out on a high note when it comes to the show and just concentrate on one show for a little while, and maybe a few little more conventions, so who knows. But again, be sure to check on the next episode that debuts today as well. It will be the Star Trek Next Generation films on VHS. Again, folks, I really appreciate it. There's so many people I can thank. Bethany K at Bethany K Fitness. Stacy, Buzz Actors, or more I call her Bean Girl. And Joachim. There's so many people out there that watch this show, and I really appreciate it so much that you guys supported it. And there's so many more people out there. I can't think right now about it. Hopefully by the final episode, or I'll have a video that will give a big thanks to everybody. Again, be sure to watch Season 3, all of Season 3 of Physical Media Format here on the Movie Dog Show and the channel. And please get that big old thumbs up and share this video to all your physical media fans alike out there. Okay, folks, that's it for the show. I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for watching, and please keep on watching. Bye.